I want you to try and think back to a time before, before every single game had a meticulously documented wiki.
Oh man, the dark ages.
Right, like way before lore explainer videos were a whole industry on YouTube. Back when video game stories were mostly just, well, rumors. Rumors you'd share with your friends at a LAN cafe or on some obscure message board.
Yeah, where if someone told you a cheat code or a secret character existed, you just kind of had to take their word for it or spend hours trying to prove them wrong.
Exactly. And that is the core mystery of our deep dive today. We are looking into this incredibly haunting, almost campfire-style legend about two of the most famous heroes in Dota, which is Defense of the Ancients.
Terrorblade and Phantom Assassin.
Yes, Terrorblade and Phantom Assassin. For years, there was this word-of-mouth story going around that they were these tragic lovers who ultimately turned into, a hunter and the hunted.
It's a very dramatic premise.
It really is.
Yeah.
And there was this one fan who grew up hearing this story. It just completely hooked him on the game. So years later, when the internet had finally caught up and everything was documented, he went looking for the source of this epic romance and betrayal.
And let me guess, he found absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Not a single official forum post, no wiki entries, just complete silence. So he did what anyone would do, right? He assumed his friend had just made the whole thing up, that it was just some really good fan fiction.
Which honestly is the logical endpoint for 99% of those old gaming rumors. I mean, if data miners can't find it in the modern era, it's just a ghost story.
But the truth here, the actual reality of this deep dive, is so much stranger than fiction. Because our mission today is to unpack a mystery where roughly half of this undocumented myth is, in fact, authentic deleted lore from the original Dota 1 and Warcraft 3.
Yeah, and the other half is just this absolutely brilliant piece of fan invention that connects all the dots.
So we are going to play lore detective today. We're going to walk through this half-remembered tale, piece by piece, and figure out exactly what was real, what was made up, and why this specific story managed to hook a player for life.
I love this because it's not just some dry recitation of a wiki page. We're really looking at how a game's unwritten, sort of unspoken history can completely capture the community's imagination.
Yeah, it's a love letter to that era of gaming, really.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this. Let's start with the prologue of the fan's tale.
Right.
It opens with these twin sons who are raised by a great prophet.
Okay, setting a very high fantasy scene right off the bat.
Right. And the elder twin, Majana, he's this total magical prodigy, but he does this extreme ritual where he actually sacrifices his own eyes to a sacred fire.
Just burns him out.
Yeah, totally blinds himself. But in return, he gets this true sight. So he can't see normally, but he becomes this completely unbeatable fighter who perceives the world perfectly.
Classic mythological trope, the blind master.
Exactly. But then there's the younger brother. He doesn't have flashy magic. He has this quiet, almost eerie gift for just feeling souls. He can sense the life force of things around him, and he has to just stand there with two perfectly good eyes, watching his blind brother excel at everything.
Oh, that resentment must be heavy.
It is. He feels entirely trapped in his brother's shadow. So, okay, let's unpack this right here. I gotta ask you, is this incredible sibling rivalry actual Dota lore, or is this the fan just doing some world building?
This is where it gets so fascinating, because this part, it is 100% authentic early game lore from the original Dota All-Stars.
Wait. Yeah.
Magina, who players know as the Anti-Mage, and Terrorblade were literally written as twin brothers with divine gifts in the old game files.
But if you look at them in the game today, they don't look anything alike. Anti-Mage is this, ascetic monk guy, and Terrorblade is a giant literal demon. How are they ever twins?
Well, you have to remember the visual DNA of the game. Dota 1 wasn't a standalone game. It was a custom map built inside Warcraft III.
Right, the world editor.
Exactly. So the modders couldn't just magically conjure up new 3D models out of nowhere. They had to recycle Blizzard's existing assets to keep the file sizes small.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so Magina used the model for a Warcraft III unit called the Demon Hunter. And in Warcraft lore, demon hunters, specifically Illidan Stormrage, ritually blindfold themselves after burning their eyes out with magic to get spectral sight.
So that's why Anti-Mage has the blindfold. The visual dictated the lore.
Precisely. They had this model of a blindfolded elf, so they wrote a story to explain the blindfold. But here's the really clever part. In Warcraft III, that demon hunter unit had an ultimate ability where he would transform into a massive winged demon.
Yeah.
The Dota creators needed more heroes for their roster, so they took that one Warcraft III character and split him into two separate Dota heroes. The blindfolded elf became Anti-Mage, and the big demon form became Terrorblade.
That is wild. They just chopped one guy in half.
Yep. But because they shared the same root animation files and folders, the modders' new players would notice the connection. So they wrote them as twins, two halves of the same coin.
That perfectly sets up the fans' narrative, though.
Yeah.
The younger brother feeling second best isn't just a random plot point. It's a dangerous catalyst. It literally drives him away from home.
Right. He needs to find somewhere his unique gifts actually matter.
And that leads him straight to this secretive order called the Sisters of the Veil, which bridges the gap between this Cain and Abel sibling rivalry and the tragic romance.
Ah, the assassins.
Yes. So chapters 1 and 2 of The Fan's Tale. The younger brother arrives at their temple. And here we get introduced to Mordred, the Phantom Assassin, and her sisters in the order, Shendalzar and Lanaya.
And the Sisters of the Veil, they're defined by anonymity, right?
Completely. They all wear veils. The rule is if you show your face, you owe a debt. It's an order of complete detachment. But Mordred is assigned to watch this new boy.
Yeah.
And she watches him use his soul-feeling gift to comfort dying pilgrims in the temple.
Oh, wow. So he's using it for empathy.
Exactly. He just sits with them so they aren't alone when they pass. And Mordred, this cold-blooded assassin, just slowly falls for his compassion. It builds to this forbidden romance where she actually breaks her sacred vow. In the dark, she lifts her veil and shows him her face.
That is an incredible visual. Total vulnerability.
It really is. But this is a tragedy, right? So right as she does this, the younger brother's gift hits a turning point. He starts doing what the story calls arithmetic in the dark.
That sounds ominous.
Very. He realizes he doesn't just have to feel souls fading, he can steal them. He can take their life force to make himself more powerful.
To finally step out of his brother's shadow.
Exactly. So he breaks into the temple's reliquary, he murders 3 of the sisters who try to stop him, drains 15 souls, and just vanishes. And the kicker, he leaves Mordred's training knife, a gift she gave him, sitting on the windowsill.
Ouch. That is brutal.
So help me separate fact from fiction here. Because I know Phantom Assassin's lore, and I don't remember any epic romance with Terrorblade.
Yeah, so the fiction here is the romance. The lowered veil, the training knife, all of that intimate connection between Mordred and Terrorblade is entirely fan invention. There is absolutely zero official lore tying them together romantically.
Not even a hint.
No, nothing at all. But the fact of the matter, the part the fan got chillingly right, is the younger brother's descent into darkness. His affinity for life forces, the soul manipulation, the murdering to escape his brother's legacy, that is completely authentic to his old biography.
Really?
Oh yeah. In fact, Terrorblade's original title in the game wasn't just Terrorblade. His title was Soulkeeper.
Oh, wow. Soulkeeper.
Right, so the fan just took that mechanical title and built a devastating psychological origin story for it.
It's like adding a musical score to a silent film. The events of the game or the silent film, a character clicks a button and drains health. But the fan adds this romance, this betrayal, and suddenly that mechanic has a devastating emotional heartbeat.
It gives it stakes. It explains why he's doing it.
I mean, if you're listening to this, think about what stands out to you there. Imagine taking the raw, basic mechanic of stealing health in a video game and extrapolating it into a story of ultimate personal betrayal.
It's brilliant translation from mechanics to narrative.
And it sets up a terrifying hunt. Because Mordred isn't just heartbroken, she's a religious zealot whose temple was just desecrated.
She has to hunt him down.
So she goes after him. But he's not hiding. He's leaving a trail. She finds her sister, Shendalzar, and he has literally broken her wings.
Left her alive, though, right?
Yes. Left her alive to deliver a message. He's stockpiling souls. Then Mordred finds Lanaya, the Templar, just shattered at a river shrine. He is methodically destroying the people Mordred loves.
He's funding something big.
Which brings us to the Nameless Cave. The younger brother goes into this cave and finds a creature called Nevermore, the Shadow Fiend.
Oh, this is such a good part.
He makes a devil's bargain. Nevermore is basically a living chorus of swallowed souls. The brother wants power wings, horns, the ability to fracture reality into clones. And Nevermore says yes, but for a price.
The surety.
Yes, his own soul. He leaves his own flame in the cave as collateral and walks out as Terrorblade, the demon.
I have to jump in here because the inclusion of Nevermore is it's a master stroke of fan translation.
Wait, really? Is that part canon?
No, the pact with Shadow Fiend is totally a fan invention. Terrorblade's demonic corruption is real lore, but they never said how it happened. But it is such a genius addition because mechanically, in the game, Shadow Fiend's whole passive ability loop revolves around collecting souls to gain attack damage.
Oh, so Nevermore is a soul collector.
Exactly. You have the Soul Collector making a deal with the Soulkeeper. The synergy is just flawless. It maps perfectly onto the game's actual mechanics.
That is so cool. It just grounds the whole universe. And it makes the resulting monster so much more intimidating for when Mordred finally catches him in the Winterpine Barrens.
The fight scene.
The fight scene is incredible. She attacks him blindingly fast. She kills him 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
But they're just clones. Smoke and mirrors.
He's just playing with her.
Yeah, because the 5th one catches her by the wrist. And this fight is just grueling. She's landing these fatal deep cuts on him. But every single time he is about to die, Terrorblade just presses his palm flat to her chest and trades with her.
The Sunder.
He literally forces his blooding wounds into her body and steals her vitality. He does this until she is kneeling in the snow with exactly 1 heartbeat left, and he just flies away.
The way the fan translated the in-game kit here is just phenomenal.
Break that down, because reading it just sounds like a cool fantasy fight.
Right, but it's a one-to-one mapping of how you play Terrorblade in the game. The demonic form he gets from the cave. That's his ability. Metamorphosis. The clones Mordred keeps killing, that's Conjure Image.
And the palm to the chest.
That is his ultimate ability, Sunder. In the game, Sunder lets you instantly swap your health percentage with a target.
So if you're at 1% health,
and your enemy is at full health, you click Sunder, and boom, you swap. You're full, they're at 1%. It is one of the most tilting, frustrating mechanics to play against. You can outplay him perfectly, and he just punishes you for winning.
And the writer captured the absolute horror of that.
Yeah.
It's not just a spell, it's a violation. He's making her bear his physical trauma.
He's perfect.
But here's where it gets really interesting, because mechanically, the fight is over. Mordred is at 1% health, left to die in the snow. Death should just take her.
But it doesn't quite take her.
No. Abad, the Knight of the Mist, arrives. He pours this magical mist directly into her wound, not to heal her, but to defer her death. Her heartbeat just pauses. Yeah. And in that empty space, the pure vengeance she's carrying actually takes physical form and moves into her vacant body. She wakes up completely changed, lightless, no reflection. Her daggers drag shadow across the daylight, and she can step sideways through reality. Mordred becomes the hero Spectre.
This right here. This is the crown jewel of the entire investigation. This is where the fan theory transcends fiction and taps directly into the visual DNA of the game.
You have to explain this visual detective work, because this blew my mind when I read it in the sources.
Okay, so we have to go back to the Warcraft III world editor limitations. Remember how Anti-Mage and Terrorblade were brothers because they shared the Demon Hunter model?
Right, they were built from the same file.
Well, Phantom Assassin and Spectre share an even tighter mechanical bond. In Warcraft III, the model they used for Phantom Assassin was a unit called the Warden. The Warden is this hooded, bladed assassin who blinks around the map.
Okay, sounds exactly like Phantom Assassin.
It is. Now, if you maxed out the Warden's level, she got an ultimate ability called Vengeance. And when you cast it, the Warden would summon this ghostly, spectral being to fight for her.
Wait.
Yeah. That summoned ghost was called the Avatar of Vengeance. And visually, the game engine just generated a translucent, floating, dark purple copy of the Warden herself.
So the ghost was just the Warden model, but dead.
Exactly. And the model that the Dota creators used for the hero Spectre was the Avatar of Vengeance.
That is insane. So Spectre is literally just the dead ghost version of Phantom Assassin's exact model.
Visually and mechanically, yes. And it gets better. In an early version of Dota, like patch 6.28, Spectre's official hero title in the game was literally Avatar of Vengeance.
So wait, did the fan invent this death and rebirth story, or did the developers actually intend for them to be the same person?
It's a fan reading. The developers never wrote lore connecting them, but the fan reading is so tightly bound to the shared models that anyone who played Warcraft III instinctively felt it. Your brain sees the living Warden, then sees the ghost version, and you subconsciously just tell yourself a story. Oh, That's her ghost.
And it explains their mirrored abilities perfectly. Phantom Assassin throws a stifling dagger, which is steel.
Yeah.
Spectre throws a spectral dagger, which is shadow.
Yep.
Phantom Assassin has a passive called Blur to dodge attacks. Spectre has dispersion to reflect damage because she's not fully physical anymore.
And look at their ultimates. Phantom Assassin has coup de grace, the singular perfect killing blow. Spectre has haunt, where she creates a shadowy illusion behind every single enemy on the map at once.
She goes from a localized assassin to an omnipresent ghost. I mean, even their names, Phantom and Spectre, are literally synonyms.
The fan just looked at all this symmetry and asked, how did she die, but not die? And they used another hero, Abaddon, who has a shield that prevents fatal damage, to act as the narrative bridge.
It's just brilliant. So she wakes up as Spectre, and she unites with her changed sisters.
The three sisters.
Right. Shendalzar, whose wings were broken, is now Vengeful Spirit. She's this sentinel of wrath who can swap positions with people. And Lanaya, the Templar, is restored. The trio hunts Terrorblade to this lake of black glass.
And we have to point out the model family here again.
Wait, really? Vengeful Spirit is connected to the models, too.
Absolutely. Remember how Spectre's model, the Avatar of Vengeance, was summoned by the Warden? Well, the Avatar of Vengeance also had an ability to summon smaller, lesser spirits from corpses. Those were called Spirits of Vengeance. And the model used for those lesser spirits, that's the exact model Dota used for the hero, Vengeful Spirit.
No way.
I am dead serious. It's one single Warcraft III ability tree split into 3 distinct Dota heroes. So calling them sisters in the story isn't just poetic, it's mechanically, literally true in the game's code.
That is just wow. Okay, so these 3 little code sisters corner Terrorblade on this lake of black glass. And the climax is incredible.
To dive up.
Terrorblade unleashes 99 clones of himself. Just a storm of demons. But Spectre, using her Haunt ultimate, steps sideways out of herself and perfectly matches them. 99 Spectres standing behind 99 Terrorblades.
Just absolute chaos on the ice.
Right. And Terrorblade, he's losing, so he tries his oldest trick. He reaches out his palm to sunder her, to steal her life force like he did in the Pines. He reaches his hand right into her chest. He finds nothing. The story says, you cannot trade with an empty purse. You can't steal life from a ghost who left her heartbeat in the snow miles away.
Ah, it's so good.
He realizes he's completely powerless. And Mordred just stabs him right where his soul used to be.
It's the perfect thematic resolution. The exact ability he used to traumatize her is rendered completely useless because of what he turned her into.
Yes.
And if we zoom out to the macro level here, the core plot of this entire fan story, a warden relentlessly hunting a transformed demon across the world, is literally the exact plot of the official Warcraft III Furs and Throne campaign.
Wait, you play as Maiev hunting Illidan, right?
Exactly. Maiev is the warden, Illidan is the demon hunter. The fan subconsciously rewrote the official Blizzard campaign using Dota heroes just by following the visual cues of the models.
That is emergent storytelling at its absolute finest. Which makes the epilogue of this tale so poignant. As Terrorblade dies, his demon shell cracks, and he reverts back to the boy Mordred loved.
Just for a second.
Just for a second. He says her true name, and then he dies. And because Mordred is now entirely made of vengeance, once her vengeance is fulfilled, the last bit of her humanity dies too. She just fades away.
There's that haunting thesis the fan wrote.
Yeah. The one we love the most hurts us the most.
Devastating.
And it ends with Magina, the blind brother, arriving too late. He finds the body, weeps over his brother, and vows revenge against the magic itself, becoming the Anti-Mage.
It ties everything together so perfectly.
It really does. But this brings me to the ultimate question, the big reveal we've been building toward. What does all of this mean in the grand scheme of things? Did Valve, the developers who took over and made Dota 2, did they ever acknowledge this lost lore?
So when Valve made Dota 2, they had to rewrite almost all the lore to avoid copyright issues with Blizzard.
Sure, they changed models and names.
Exactly. And everyone assumed the brother connection between Anti-Mage and Terrorblade was totally scrubbed. Just old trivia.
Because it's not in their modern bios at all.
Right, it's not in the official text. But hidden deep in the modern games files, the actual data folders you have to data mine to see are unused voice lines.
Unused voice lines.
Yes. Voice lines that were quietly dropped before the game was released, but never deleted from the code. Anti-Mage actually has lines saying, "Hello, brother," and "Vile fratricide."
Oh my God.
And Terrorblade has a taunt recorded where he says, "Mother always liked you best."
Mother always liked you best. Are you kidding me?
I'm not. Valve intended to preserve the brother connection. They hired actors, wrote the script, recorded the lines, and fossilized the emotional core of this entire fan story directly into the game's audio files.
That is just, it's chilling. To think that fans spent years assuming it was all fake and the proof was just sitting right there in his hard drive waiting to be found. Anti-Mage just sitting in code waiting to say, hello, brother.
It proves that a story doesn't have to be officially published canon to be true to the player base. This legend respected the quiet storytelling the game's assets were already doing.
It really did. So to summarize, we have a fan who took visual clues, shared models, mirrored abilities, and a deleted piece of lore about twins and accidentally wrote a masterpiece of forensic storytelling.
It's beautiful, honestly.
It is. And it leaves you with a final thought to mull over, Next time you play any game and you see reused assets or a weird glitch or characters whose abilities seem to perfectly counter each other.
Don't ignore it.
Right. Are they just lazy design choices? Or are they the unwritten ghosts of a story the developers abandoned? Keep exploring those weird details, because maybe you'll find your own campfire legend hidden in the code.